you still choose to drive your own vehicle to the point where you're causing the car to flip over on the open road in the middle of the day on a random Friday in March, dude. Like you're literally been doing this longer than I've been alive, bro. What's up, everybody? What's on the menu? Back with another video, and this time we're here to talk about Tiger Woods and his very, very destructive driving habits. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video today, please like the video if you like it, don't if you don't, and if you like more of social media and pop culture news that I put out in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get started. Over this past weekend on March 27th, 2026, Tiger Woods was involved in a car accident that involved two vehicles. Cops, after investigating the scene, had concluded that Tiger Woods was trying to pass one vehicle on a two-lane street, sped way too fast, and ended up clipping another car, causing his to flip over as a result. Based on the way that Tiger Woods was behaving on the scene, the cops decided to breathalyze him as they believed he was under the influence of alcohol. Though he did blow a zero when breathalyzed, they asked to grab a urine sample from Tiger, which he declined to do. Though they were suspicious of him being under the influence of something but had no solid proof and he denied a urine test, they still had to hold him in jail for 8 hours. For many of you that don't know or may not watch golf, or aren't that really big into sports, Tiger Woods is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, golfer that's currently alive in the current day and age. He's won several awards, Masters, PGA Tours, you name any big golf tournament, he's probably won it at least once, and he's one of the best to ever do it. I don't really watch golf that much, but I just know how impactful and historically significant he's been to the world of golf. But that aside, I think there's a bigger issue with how he handles driving off the court that we have to actually talk about, pun intended. Since about 2009, there have been at least 4 instances of Tiger Woods operating a vehicle in some sort of questionable manner, and within the past 10 years, 3 out of 4 of those instances have occurred. The car crash that happened in 2009 was a result of him being chased out of his house by his now ex-wife due to his infidelity. Whether he was under the influence of any drugs or alcohol during the crash is unknown, but it's clear that in his frantic state, he ended up driving through several hedges, hit a fire hydrant, and ultimately crashed into a tree. Though he did cause all this damage and ruined his marriage, the only thing that came of the reckless driving was a citation for careless driving, which carries no criminal penalties, and he only paid a fine. And he got dropped by a bunch of sponsors due to the infidelity, but we're ultimately talking about the car crash and terrible driving history of Tiger Woods, so we're going to stay focused on that. In 2027, Tiger Woods was found unconscious in his vehicle while the engine was still running by the side of the road, and it was clear to the police who were handling him and going to arrest him for that DUI that he was clearly taking something and was operating the vehicle. Tiger Woods claimed that he had taken some medication and didn't realize how it would react, but most medications have a warning label on them saying if it's going to make you feel drowsy and you should operate heavy machinery. And for the people that don't know, cars are considered heavy machinery that you should not be operating under the influence of any drug that may impair your ability to react. At the hearing for this incident, Tiger Woods pleaded guilty to reckless driving and would receive 1 year of probation, a $250 fine, was ordered to complete 50 hours of community service and undergo regular drug testing, and he was prohibited from consuming alcohol during his probation, which, if he violated, he would only have to complete a 90-day jail sentence with an additional $500 fine. And for any of you who may think this was a little too light of a punishment, I'm going to slap his net worth on screen in 2027 so you can see how much money he has compared to how much money he was actually fined. Later in 2021, he was all the way in California when he sustained a single vehicle rollover crash in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, and he was the only occupant of that vehicle. Woods was later rushed to the hospital in order to tend to his wounds from the crash. Later on, he actually ended up having to get surgery because his legs had gotten injured so badly from that crash. It was clear to the police after examining the vehicle and how badly damaged it was that Woods was going at least twice the speed limit on the road. It was posted at 40, which means he was at least going 80 because the crash damage told him that information. Though it was clear that reckless driving was the result of the crash itself, miraculously no blood work or urine tests or any sort of drug analysis was done on Tiger Woods to find out why the crash happened in the first place, which did spark a lot of outcries and a lot of questioning as to whether the police was doing their job properly. And that brings us up to date on 2026 and his most recent DUI instance. This DUI instance, as I said before, was due to the fact that he refused to submit a lawful test and there was property damage. So obviously he had to get his mugshot taken to the police station, held there in the cell for 8 hours before he posted for bail. There's 2 defined instances of Tiger Woods disobeying traffic laws due to him being under the influence of something. And there's 2 other instances, one in which it was questionable whether or not he was actually under the influence, but we don't have the evidence because the police didn't take a blood test of Tiger Woods at the time. But regardless, there does seem to be a pattern of Tiger Woods operating heavy machinery like cars and being under the influence of some sort of drug. Whatever he's going through, I feel like he should just admit himself to rehab again, because it seems as though he hasn't really been following through with being monitored with his drug intake or the amount of drugs he's taking, or he needs to just get a driver. He's a multi-millionaire at this point, and he has the resources to have somebody drive him around at whatever hour he chooses to. It is 2026. I understand he has privacy concerns, but if you really want to ensure you have your own privacy because you don't want a driver in your business or whatever, do whatever you want in your private time and call the driver when you're ready. Have them take you from place A to place B, and that's it. Because you got to figure this out. Well, you're like 50 years old, dude. There's no way you have all this money and access to resources at whatever corner of the world you can get them from, and you still choose to drive your own vehicle to the point where you're causing the car to flip over on the open road in the middle of the day on a random Friday in March, dude. Like, you've literally been doing this longer than I've been alive, bro. There's no way. 50-year-old man, bro, can't get a driver to take him from A to B without causing an incident and wrecking his car on the road. Dude, get it together. Get it together, dude. Like, come on. You're a father. You're a golf icon, bro. You should be setting an example for not just your own kids, but other kids out there. Like, I'm sure there were a ton of kids out there who want to be just like you, whether you realize you're an icon / role model for kids out there or not. And now you continue to taint your legacy by doing the stupid stuff, rolling your car over and drunk driving or driving under the influence, whatever you want to call it. Dude, this isn't your first time. This is your 4th time being in the news for some sort of driving incidents, bro. The first time I heard about this, I was a kid in 2009. I was a kid. What, 14 years old, 13 years old? I'm 30 now. I'm still hearing about you drunk driving on the road, rolling your car over, bro. Get it together, bro. Crazy. Come on, dude. Get it together. But all in all, I just want to say, I wish people in Tiger's camp kind of enforce this rule of, hey man, you should really get a driver. This has messed up your life. It's clearly messed up your life in more ways than one, whether it be you losing sponsorships, you having to get surgery for your legs, and ruining your public image because you can't seem to have someone drive when you're clearly unable to do so yourself, or at least get help for whatever drug problem you may have. So that's just my 2 cents on the whole situation. What do you guys think? Do you think Tiger Woods really needs to get a grip on reality, go to a rehab center, find a driver, and try to get clean of drugs? Or if he does have a drug issue, do you think he should just, still drive under the influence and it's no big deal and everyone's overreacting? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Deuces.